Well, Heritage Day celebrations are actually rife around the country. We know South Africa is rich with vibrant and diverse cultures, and the Arts and Culture Department is currently hosting a Heritage Day event at the Princess Magogo Stadium, this in KwaMashu in KwaZulu-Natal. And the theme for this year is celebrating our cultural diversity in a democratic South Africa. Now, eNCA reporter Pule Jones is there for us, and he joins me now to give us the very latest and also just a heads up on what's coming up for the entire day. Pule, happy Heritage Day to you, colleague. I know you're out in KwaMashu. It seems like there's a big program ahead in KwaZulu-Natal, and as far as the Department of Arts and Culture is concerned. What's the day looking like?
Well, definitely. It's still quite a rainy morning. We came here to come and anticipate, a day that will be full of jubilation and, praise songs that will be, of course, sung by those who will be celebrating Heritage Day. Now, South Africa is a melting pot of cultures when it comes to Heritage Day as well. But significantly so, we're expecting a have activities that will be taking place here. We do understand that there will also be indigenous cultural games that will be happening here. The Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, will give the keynote address. And of course, we are also expecting the Zulu King Mrs. KwaZulu-Natal, who will be present here as well. But of course, when I spoke to some of the community members yesterday, we visited a traditional wedding. They were quite, clear and expressed themselves that it's important that South Africa continues to embrace their cultural customs and beliefs and ensure that they preserve all of that, in a sense that also language is something that should continue to be spoken. Cultural languages should be practiced as well, despite the modern times we live in. Now, maybe if I can step out of shot and my colleague JK can just show you, these are the preparations that are taking place so far. The stage has been erected. We did see police officials sweeping in and ensuring that they adhere to security protocols, as we're expecting a high level of government officials and, of course, other guests who will be here present. There will be marquees as well, we understand, around the stadium to give us a sense of the indigenous, or rather give us a play of indigenous games that will be taking place here today. We're told that we're expecting thousands of community members who will be attending this particular event in KwaMashu. It's one event that has been practiced, or rather has been organized for quite some time right now. And it seems as though the municipality is ready to actually now have the program underway. But Dumelo, before I continue again, I just want us to take a listen to one of, or rather, a package I did yesterday when we attended a traditional wedding on Heritage Day, and it was a beautiful picture and of course a beautiful package. We're just trying to get a sense of how things were, how some families say that they also now prefer to have traditional days on Heritage Day, and of course this public holiday is now also significantly known for a number of traditional weddings that take place on this particular day. Let's take a listen.
Jubilation and dancing. The Ngcobo family is having umkesho on the eve of Heritage Day. It's a Zulu pre-wedding ceremony. It's done for a woman who is about to get married and takes place after the bride price, known as lobola, has been paid. Through this ceremony, she's saying her final farewell to the family. The father of the bride says he's happy for his daughter. He says the ceremony they've been planning for months has more significance on the eve of Heritage Day.
Heritage Day is a vibe, your ancestors with all the spirit. It's amongst us. Like we normally tell people, we don't worship amadlos, but we inform them. We let them know how, because usually in the Bible, nakhona ingilose ezikhona that esiyithandazayo. So nami ngiyafeel ukuthi oma bami nabo bonke abantu ababekhona emhlabeni, I know them.
Friends, family and community members are in attendance to support the bride and groom. But they'll also be showering the bride with gifts. The bride says she's excited for the new journey.
I'm actually tired, but I feel so amazing. I'm very grateful that my parents and my future husband gave me an opportunity to actually experience this.
The bride's family says it's all quite significant seeing families retaining their heritage and culture.
It means a lot to me because as abantu abamnyama kumele siwagcina amasiko ethu. Mina ngizalwa kaMadikizela, ubaba wami wakaMadikizela, uma wami wakaMazibuko. Angithi uyabona lapho kuhlangene ama different tribes. So as kuhlangene different tribes kusho ukuthi ngigcina ilokho nje isiko lamampondo iphinde ngigcine isiko lamaZulu.
And it tells us to go back to our roots and respect our nation and our culture, and not to be ashamed of who we are and where we are coming from, not to be brainwashed, because most of the time now we are very much afraid and ashamed of who we are. As a result, like now I'm speaking English, but I am a traditional Zulu girl, you know. So it is important that we really make impact when it comes to our Zulu culture.
The two families representing the bride and groom have come together to feast. It's a relationship that's expected to see the bride and groom being supported to eventually build their own home. What's left now is the bride sending gifts to the groom's family in a ceremony called Umbondo, then Umabo, which is the closing ceremony of traditional Zulu weddings. Pule Lichiti Jones, Claremont in Durban.
I think it's such a beautiful story that you gave us there, Pule, especially when we think about, traditional weddings. We know it brings people together. The colors are beautiful just in terms of traditional attire. But also what's important, one of the family representatives there is saying that, preserving culture is equally important. And I just wonder, from a government's perspective today, perhaps that will be one of the priorities in terms of, just further elaborating on why traditions and customs and culture in South Africa still have a place in our society.
Perhaps that's the messages we'll be receiving from our government officials, and the question, of course, being whether it is quite important, pragmatic, and if it's an idea that can be executed. All of these, ideas should be starting at primary levels, at ground root level, from when a child is born and raised through the ranks of becoming an adult as well, which is quite something significantly important. I picked up as well within the Zulu culture, who say that they try by all means to teach the young ones from an early childhood stage about the importance of preserving culture and, of course, their beliefs as well. So today will be quite important to find out what programs will be put in place to ensure that culture and religion, or rather culture and beliefs, is something that is preserved, because these are the set of foundational principles that make us who we are, Dumelo, a Rambo nation as South Africans as well. And therefore, a government will have to keep up with that, ensuring that there are programs which can still preserve and ensure the importance of cultural beliefs and norms in this country.
But of course, Pule will continue to also hear what those in attendance, including, as you've mentioned, King Mrs. Zwelithini, have to say to the people. Hopefully the rain will not deter the event from going ahead out in KwaMashu, where you stand. But